Bitcoin is pushing up a little bit. We can see initially on the 10-minute that initially Bitcoin kind of chopped on that jobs report, now is catching a bid. And we could say, okay, well, why is Bitcoin catching a bid? Well, because the stock market's inching up as well, and Bitcoin, again, is rallying.
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway unveils his latest Bitcoin and crypto price predictions, spotlighting key market trends and strategies. We'll dive into his technical analysis. Join us to discover his insights on market moves.
Now, on the crypto side, as long as we're talking crypto, let's talk some of these charts. I was just going over this with the Trader's Edge crypto live day trading session we just held, which is part of Smart Money crypto now. And what we can see here is this is a very interesting pattern here, right? So I want to just show you this chart setup. We're going to actually remove all lines. One of the chart setups here is, and let me go over to the big board for this. This is Polkadot. Now, again, almost all the altcoins, and maybe not Ethereum. Actually, Ethereum does have a bottoming tail as well. But this pattern formation right here, see that? That is what's called a bottoming tail. And when it occurs at the lows of recent history on the chart, it is a reversal bullish signal. So this happened basically, it was either Monday, I think it was Monday. Monday we had that big flush and reversal, and it came at the low end of the chart. And so what this does is when you get a bottoming tail, I'll draw it in here, right? So let's do it down here. So it's a long tail with a kind of a small body at the high end, just like there, right? And what usually happens is what we call a retrace of the top or the bottoming tail. And the retrace, so it's trading here, it likes to come back in like this, and then eventually it turns up. The idea being is it turns up like that. So that might be what we're starting to see here on the altcoins, is for them to catch a bid. Now, in all fairness, most crypto hardcore enthusiasts would be like, all right, yay, it's going to go to all-time high. No. I mean, this is, again, when I analyze this stuff, understand this is short-term. So we're talking like days to a week or two out of upside. And then you have to start looking and saying, okay, well, what's the big resistance if this plays out to the upside that we could get to? And I can go over this chart real quick, just since I'm on it. The one thing that I would just point out, here's the daily chart. Take the high right here and drag a trend line down. So what do we have right here, right? We can lower that even a little bit right there, right through this high, right through this high. So if we rally up, resistance is going to be at 570. That will be a big test. Now, it could break, but it also could get rejected. But that would be your first target price on Polkadot to the upside. And again, a lot of these other coins have these. I think Cardano has it. Let me take a look at Cardano. Yeah, Cardano bottoming tail right here, retrace, starting to turn back up. Cardano would have a lot of resistance around 90 cents. This low right through here, that would be big, and then upper range right in here. Okay, in any case, we'll get away from crypto now. As we talked about that, we got to look at Amazon. Amazon coming down on the back of the earnings, right? So earnings came out yesterday after hours. They were a little bit weaker than expected in terms of their guidance. And that, again, we've seen that a lot from a lot of the companies here. They have these robust fourth quarter numbers, and then their projections, their guidance is a little on the lighter side. Now, in all fairness, Amazon's not doing much. It's down slightly. You can see here, initially it had this big fall before bouncing and chopping. It's only honestly down about $5-6 on the morning. That doesn't even get me out of bed in terms of looking for a level. Now, on the daily chart, you have a very clear upward trend line of resistance. That tells us resistance is at 242.75 to 243. And then if it did break below 226 and confirm, that would be the warning sign. Anything in here, like down what it is today, means no difference. There's no big thing in the trading of this stock. It's still in this upward wedge pattern. It's when it breaks here or it breaks here that alerts should go off in your head that a big move is coming. Affirm, big pop on this one. The reason I'm bringing up Affirm is, number one, it's up quite sizably, although it is fading. But remember, Affirm is a buy now, pay later company. And so I always raise this as an indicator for economic stress. When these companies do well, it's at the end of a business cycle when there's more and more people struggling. So instead of paying for an item just straight up, they say, you know what, I really want that, amazing new thing, but ultimately what I have to do here is I have to buy it in installments. And so the fact that, a firm is doing so well, that actually could tell us that the consumer is struggling more and more. And I always say that these buy now, pay laters do great during this period, but then once everyone stops paying because they lost their job or we're in a recession, then these companies tend to crash. And you can see this historically in other business cycles.
China is expected to lift its ban on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies by the end of 2025, according to Ash Crypto, signaling a major shift after years of cautious and sometimes hostile regulation. The country's stance on digital assets has evolved significantly since 2013, when the People's Bank of China initially barred financial institutions from dealing with Bitcoin. In 2017, the government cracked down on initial coin offerings, forcing many crypto exchanges to shut down. By 2021, authorities declared all cryptocurrency transactions illegal, citing concerns over financial crime, capital flight, and economic instability. Reversing this policy could reshape the global crypto landscape. China's massive economy could re-enter the market, boosting liquidity and potentially driving up the price of various digital currencies. Innovative blockchain solutions might flourish as well, particularly in areas like finance, supply chain management, and healthcare. This move may also influence international regulatory trends, as other nations watch closely to see how Beijing chooses to govern digital assets within its borders. Despite the excitement, challenges remain. Strict regulations could still be introduced to maintain economic stability and prevent illicit activities. Moreover, cryptocurrencies must fit into China's wider economic ambitions, which might involve a gradual approach to integrating digital assets into its existing financial systems. If the ban is indeed lifted, the decision would mark a pivotal moment in the future of cryptocurrencies worldwide, combining newfound opportunities with the need for balanced policies that protect both investors and the broader economy.
So Apple Oven here, I want to show you this parallel here that I have, and I'm going to erase it and start from scratch. But the reason I bring this up is because it's kind of an interesting setup where you can kind of do a risk-reward assessment, okay? So if we look at this, what type of pattern is this? And actually, I'll go annotate it on the big board here so we can kind of go over it a little bit more. So we have Apple Oven. They have a software that's used in e-commerce, I believe, advertising stuff that's AI-related, which is why it's had such a massive run. This was one of the best performers in 2024, by the way. But it did put in a high pivot right here, right? And it had this big sell-off, right? This big sell-off here. And then this pattern, as we all should know, is a long, long bear flag. All right, so the idea here is that saying, okay, well, let's just say we were interested in shorting this as a swing trade. What would our stop out be? What would our targets be? Well, on the chart, there's a massive gap fill right here, right? So that would be your ultimate downside target, which again is way down around 175. So that's actually, if it were to fall from here all the way down there, that's a 54% drop in the stock. Okay, so the reward looks good, but as a technician, you don't just want to say, oh, well, the reward looks good, so let me do a trade. You want to say, well, what's my risk? What's my downside for a potential move? And that's where you have to start saying, okay, well, where does the bear flag fail? Great question, right? Well, where does the bear flag fail? So to do that, we say, okay, bear flags fail if they take out this high on a daily closing basis. And so essentially, what's nice about this scenario is you have a nice bear flag, but even if it doesn't work out, and we know that in general, even if we have a great setup, there's still there's still 20, 30% chance that it fails, right? So you have to be ready for that possibility. If this price were to, let's say, trail up here and close above the topping tail or the top high, that would be the stop out. Now, what's cool about that is from current price, that's only about 10% higher. So the idea here is you start saying, okay, well, potentially have a 54% net gain to the downside if this works out with a 10% risk. Now, it's not really 10%. It's a little bit bigger potentially. The reason I say that is because it's a daily closing basis. So what if you rally up and then you close here, right? So then you have to kind of factor that in. But the way I view it is 10 to 15%, right? So let's be fair, 10 to 15%. So you give yourself an extra 5% in case it closes above, like a decent amount above that level. The point being is, as a technician, this is the stuff you want to look for in the charts. You want to say, what's your risk? What's your reward? Does it make sense? Is the technical pattern intact? Is it a good pattern? What other factors do you have? Like, for instance, I would look at the RSI on this, see what the RSI is doing.
Bill Barhett, founder and CEO of crypto asset manager Abra, envisions an explosive surge for Bitcoin that could reach as high as $700,000 in what he calls a cyclical valhalla. According to Barhett, the new U.S. administration under President Donald Trump is determined to lower interest rates while juggling a multi-trillion-dollar debt, inevitably leading to massive liquidity injections. He sees $350,000 BTC and $8,000 Ethereum as base cases, with potential doubling. Barhett predicts that quantitative easing measures, whether direct or indirect, will funnel fresh funds into both crypto and risk assets. His optimism extends to Solana, expecting its price to climb to $900 as part of this grand rally. While major financial institutions have echoed six-figure targets for Bitcoin, some remain skeptical about the market's ability to sustain such momentum. Arthur Hayes, former CEO of BitMEX, cautions that the new administration is not a guaranteed catalyst for perpetual price growth. He anticipates a retest of $70,000 to $75,000, arguing that traders could face a sobering reality once it becomes evident that American politics have not shifted. Even so, bullish forecasts continue to dominate, indicating that crypto's future hinges on policy decisions and the market's reaction to an evolving economic landscape. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.